Hello, this is a reading for Aquarius for April 15th to 21st, 2021. It's going to be a good reading, I hope. I think it will be. I have a good feeling about it. It is springtime, at least where I live it is, and everything is waking up, and I am very excited about spring and summer this year. So that's a good thing. And the world is kind of crazy right now, as we all know. We don't really know what's happening with a lot of areas. So let's hope things get on a more even keel in the very near future. So feel free to send me your questions about anything you'd like, and I will answer them for you. You can contact me at the email below. And let's get into it. Today I'm going to do a Celtic cross, a very popular and quote-unquote normal tarot spread. Some people like it. It's very structured. I'm not wild about it because it's so structured, but I want you guys to have lots of variety so that you can decide what you like and don't like. My one daughter always likes this spread because she's very practical and very structured. So this is what she always wants when I read her cards. Okay, let's get into it. So this card here is going to represent you right now at this point in time. So here we've got a guy who, in medieval times, a knight would go out into battle, and if he survived, which was very, very lucky, there was a coffin already made for him, and he would either lie on top of it or inside of it and reflect upon his life and, be feeling very, very lucky that he was alive, for one thing. And then also figure out what's my next step going to be and where have I been and where am I going and all that good stuff. So it's a very reflective card. It's a card about, getting into yourself and learning what you're all about and what your goals are. And, it's a good planning card, for the future. So maybe that's what you're up to right now. Maybe it's also that, right now we can't necessarily do all the things we would normally do. So it gives you time to reflect upon these things. You've got more time on your hands, more time to be by yourself and figuring things out. Now, this is what crosses you. It's a card that could be an obstacle, and if it is, how you would face the obstacle. So this is a card of a worker. So I'm going to say you have some obstacles in the work department. Maybe it's the exact situation of what this guy right here has, which is he is trying to grow something, a business, or work at his job, or a field of things growing, whatever it may be. And he's looking kind of like, the harvest is not as wonderful as what he had hoped. He maybe doesn't feel rewarded enough for what he's doing, or maybe he feels that he's putting in too much work for the reward he is getting. In any case, he's a little dissatisfied with what's going on. It's not a bad card. It's actually a card that shows that you are it's a card of accomplishment. Somebody's doing something, but it's not as much as what you want. So this could be a card saying that your obstacle is you need to work harder. It might be that you're working too hard and you need to either get another job or figure out a way to do things differently. Maybe it's time for a promotion even. I mean, sometimes when things aren't perfect, it's time to progress within the company you're at. I mean, that sounds like something that's not going to happen, but sometimes it can. I mean, maybe there's something you can do to make that happen. Sometimes it's just an attitude shift that you're doing what you need to be doing. But if you're truly dissatisfied, you can make changes. I mean, you can, and you should if that's the case. So this is what's above you. What's above you is what's influencing you. The Page of Wands. Now, if it's a person, it's a young person typically, or somebody who's very youthful in the way they think, and it's an action card. It's a doer, somebody who's learning about how to do things and put things into practice in life, and somebody who's full of adventure and wants to create things, wants to be a doer, an action person. So it's an exciting card, and it can sometimes mean a message. So if this is a person then if they influence you in some way, maybe it's your child, maybe it's your friend, maybe it's, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You know, it could be anybody that you know. Like I say, as much as it's typically a young person, it can also be a very youthful acting and thinking person who's not super young. So, whoever it is, if that's an influence in your life, that's sometimes it can be something like if it's a child, they might not influence you in changing the way you think about how to do something, but you might change because you love the child, and so you learn to become maybe more patient, or you learn to, cook when you couldn't cook before because you want to make them nutritious meals. It can be all kinds of ways that they influence you. Maybe they teach you to live more in the moment, which is always fun. Whatever it is, this is influencing you right now. What's below you? The subconscious. Boy, I'm getting a lot of swords in the subconscious lately. This is a really kind of a poo card to have in your subconscious because it's about feeling like you're trapped, and you don't want to feel like you're trapped. This girl isn't really trapped. This isn't, she's not tied so tightly she can't loosen what's binding her. She has a loose loop of a blindfold, and these swords aren't really a cage. I mean, they're just her thoughts. Her thoughts are keeping her in a cage of sorts. So whatever is going on here, whatever, I know we can't control our subconscious that easily, but something's going on, and you probably know the cause of what's going on that could make you be feeling trapped somehow. Sometimes it's just our own thoughts. We beat ourselves up with thoughts. We're not doing that well enough. Oh, if I was working harder, I could have, I could have been the president of the company by now, and I'm a failure. You know, Sometimes it's just that beating yourself up, and you're really thinking right now. You're really quite introspective. So we really want those thoughts to be very, very positive. Make sure your internal dialogue is really positive, especially about yourself. You have to love yourself because it's important. You want to live this life and go far, and you need to have the backup. I mean, if you yourself are not being kind to yourself, the odds of other people being is not great. So it's very important to tell yourself how great you are all the time. What's in the past? The Queen of Pentacles. She is a lovely woman, a very good queen who runs a beautiful home and castle and is very good with money and security and good health and, procuring wealth, all those things. Maybe it's your mom from the past. Maybe it's an aunt or somebody you respect and care about. Maybe it's you, fulfilling this role. But whatever it is, it's a good influence or a good part of the past. Very, very positive. And here's this growing of security and whatever. I mean, you might not be totally satisfied, but things are happening. As you move into the future, these cards often go hand in hand. Somebody's working hard here. You're working hard to create a good future. You've got a lot of self-doubts, though, and that's got to be dealt with. You don't need to have those self-doubts. Or maybe suspicions that something is going on that really isn't going on. Things are much better than you're perceiving them, I think. Everything's going to be okay. It really, really is. It's a weird time. A lot of people are very upset, very traumatized about the insecurity of what's going on right now. But you're going to be fine. This is about your attitude. Your attitude is very positive. Your attitude is with an eye to the future, about being very secure. You're trying to create this with your hard work. You are on the right path. Your attitude is very good. You're thinking about money and finances and good health and long life. And so this is positive. Very, very good. This is about your home environment. So your home, well, it could be any environment that you spend the most of your time in. Usually it's home. So the Page of Cups. If you have this guy at home, if he's your child or your spouse or somebody, then that's a very good thing because he's a lot of fun, could be very comical, whimsical, playful, just a great all-around fun, somebody who's learning, somebody very, very loving, very passionate about everything, really just a great person. Or it could be that your house is like that. Your home is playful. It's artistic. There's There are artistic pursuits. There's a feeling of fun and camaraderie and happiness and learning, all those things. There's passion about tasks and passion about creating good things. And, it's a place where good relationships can develop. There's warmth. That's a very happy card. And this is about your hopes and dreams. I often get justice when somebody is in the legal field. Maybe you want to be a legal assistant or a lawyer, or you have a bent toward working things out, making things fair. You could have a legal matter going on. But this is about your hopes and fears. So if you do have a legal matter going on, this card usually means a positive outcome. Don't fear it. If it's something you're hoping for, like being a part of the judicial system, then, I can see that you will go for it. I believe you will. You're a hard worker. You're a hard worker, and you've got plans and aspirations that are going somewhere. I think you're going to do very, very well. If you don't have a legal matter going on, sometimes it's just a matter of you feel you deserve justice in something. Sometimes it could be something as minor as somebody apologizes for some wrong they did to us. It could even be from the distant past. But there's something where justice will assert itself here, whether it's something you're hoping to happen, whether it's something you're worried will go wrong. I think it's going to go right for you. And this is your outcome. Okay, you're a very hard worker. A hard worker who puts things into action. That's quite clear from all of this. The Ace of Pentacles is a beautiful card that's all about the beginning of starting something that's quite good financially and for your security, maybe even for health. You've already got a lot on the go here. This is moving into the future. You will continue to be a very, very hard worker. You've got a lot to put into action, and you're doing it. You are doing it. This can often mean some fighting, some arguing, but it can also mean, it can be a training exercise. It can mean that you're learning to do something. I often get this card with people who do martial arts, because something about, it's like here they're learning to do play sword fight or something like that. But, any kind of physical thing like martial arts, especially where there's a fighting component to it or a self-defense component, that sort of thing. That can be what is going on here, but it can also just mean banter or arguments. Sometimes it's the normal arguments or exchanges that happen in business. It doesn't have to be like a fight, you know what I mean? But here, again, the person is working the field, action coupled with planning and hard work. Exactly what you need to bring things to fruition. And the inception of something could be a new exercise program that's going to affect your life. Could be an investment, a new job, the beginnings of something very positive in your near future, I would assume. So this is a very good reading. Yes, there's this. You can deal with this. You're going to be fine. But all in all, a very positive reading. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon.